Hey everybody, Patrick here for Rap 4. It is February 11th, 2013, and this is Monday Night Paintball. Alright guys, time for some paintball news and industry trends. There's a new paintball company that's hitting the market. They're known as J4, and I checked out their website. It's pretty cool. Their whole thing is that they're a bunch of Gyarados and paintball players who are now making paintball guns. Their first paintball marker is known as the Torque, and they're going to debut it on the 26th through the 28th of February at Paintball Extravaganza. This marker is pretty cool because it's the first spool valve and stack tube design in one. So we're really looking forward to getting our hands on some, testing them out, and seeing how they perform. On March 7th through the 10th is going to be the second all-girls tournament at the Arena Moscow Girls Cup. They expect to have about 20 all-female teams from all around the world to compete. So far, the Russian, Norwegian, Iranian, Ukrainian, French, UK, Malaysian, and US teams have all confirmed. The Bob Guernsey Paintball Scholarship Fund has $10,000 this year to hand out to lucky high school students who are very involved in paintball and who are also looking for a way to afford college. Now this $10,000 was put up by both Tippmann and Vulcan, but there are smaller grants that are getting put up by companies such as Lapco, Viper Paintball, and the National Professional Players League, or NPPL. PALS Thailand, or the Paintball Asia League Series, is happening in Bangkok this month. That's February 26th through March 3rd, and it's one of the most competitive tournaments in the world. Now I know Rap 4 Malaysia likes to go there, so hopefully we can get some cool pictures and videos and show everybody some of the action. Alright guys, for this week's tactical tip, once again I'm going to hand over the stage to Savoy 6. If you're not familiar, Savoy 6 is our flagship team. They operate in Southern California. They comprise mostly of veterans and are very active with veteran charities. So, with no further ado, here's Savoy 6.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Kush and Anthony from Savoy 6, and we're providing you with this week's tactical tip. For this episode, we're going to be showing you how to make a tactical speed loader for your magazines. Now this has been covered by some of the guys on forums and YouTube before, but we have our own techniques that we use that's a little bit different, and we're going to be going over that. Basically, you need a few items. You need a 3/4 inch PVC coupler. You need a 1 inch cap. You need a hacksaw. You need a Dremel, a drill, and preferably with the ones that, have those hole cutter kits. Makes things a lot easier. If not, you could just use a Dremel. You need a pod and some magazines to test it on, and also some PVC glue or some epoxy. So to get started, you're gonna need to cut a hole into the pod. Start by making a small indentation on the end of the pod so you know where your drill guide goes in. Then you can speed up as you're going forward, make a clean cut. After you make your hole with your drill, you can use a Dremel with a rotating sanding head to open up the hole. These are really easy to work with. And whenever working with a Dremel close by, make sure you have your safety glasses on. Thank you, Anthony. Make sure that the coupler goes in easily. It doesn't need to be too tight. Alright, so we have a very clean cut, nice and smooth, just get rid of the excess. And the PVC pipe slides in and out easily. The next step is to get your hacksaw and mark with a pencil where you need to cut on the PVC pipe. Preferably you need a little bit more than 1/2 inch on each side. Okay, yeah, you can actually use the Dremel to make the first couple incisions and use the hacksaw for the rest. Using the hacksaw is really easy in my opinion. So after you make your little guides with the Dremel, it's a lot easier to follow through with your hacksaw. You can just use the edge of the table or just in the middle of the table. So after you have all the excess cut off, you can just use a Dremel to sand it down, or get a sandpaper and just rub it over the sandpaper. It's okay if you're not perfectly lined up on one side, since one side is going to be inside the pod anyways. After you're done smoothing out the edges, you're going to move on to your cap. Now you're going to be marking it with the ruler to make 2 cuts at about 1/4 inch. So you could either use a hacksaw or a Dremel. Since we don't have a vise, we're just going to use the Dremel. So just rough this. We're going to rough this out later. Let's just cut the second set. So just make another measurement for 1/4 inch with your pencil and continue to cut a second ring. So after you're done cutting the 2 rings, you can just go ahead and switch back to your Dremel sander and go ahead and sand out the rough edges. You don't need to make it perfectly smooth, just get all those extra edges, extra excess plastic off. Now using your sandpaper or Dremel, you can go ahead and smooth out the cap. At this point you can use the Dremel sander to sand down inside the cap to allow it to go off and on the pipes smoothly. It's a tight fit, but you can sand it down more and smooth it out at the end. So at this point, what we're going to be doing is using the epoxy, glue 1 ring at one end of the tube. And for presentation purposes, you can just use the machine portion to be on the top. So go ahead and use the other one for the bottom side. You want to glue on the bottom side first and insert it through the inside of the pot. So we're just going to go ahead and Dremel the inside out a little bit more. So for this area, make sure you create a cone effect by putting the ring a little bit higher than the outside diameter of the tubing. This allows for the paintballs to drop in smoothly rather than to stay on the edge. Keep something handy to mix in the epoxy. We cut off 2 ends of a Q-tip to help us do this. Go ahead and mix your epoxy. And since we're making epoxy, we're going to also glue another pod that we made earlier today. So go ahead and start with gluing one end, preferably the back end, which doesn't have to be so smooth. Sliding in the back end, make sure you slide it from the top forward. Slide in and smear the glue all around it, and make sure you create that cone effect for the balls to all drop in. Now you can use PVC glue for this as well. PVC cement works really well. It helps by melting the 2 PVC the pipe and the cap pieces together and molding them. Now this epoxy stuff dries within a minute, so you want to use all of it as fast as you can. So we're gonna go ahead and glue the other piece. Go ahead and apply as much as you want to make sure you get a good seal. Now the more you put, the longer you have to wait for it to dry. But the more sure you are that you got a tight, strong, cohesive piece. Now that the piece is together, you can wait a few seconds for it to bond. Okay, now that you have waited a few seconds for your tubing to set, go ahead and insert it through the inside of the pod, like so. Now this is the point that you want to make sure you have a smooth hole that the tubing can come out of it easily, or you're gonna have a tough time pulling it out. So once you have your tube through, go ahead and make some epoxy and just glue around the edges. Now make sure you don't get any glue on the actual tube, and make sure it's inserted completely out of the pod. So go ahead and slide over your second ring, and for presentation's sake, keep the machine side out. So hold the tube, make sure it doesn't go back in. So go ahead and slide in the ring all the way forward to the end of it. So once you have the ring glued, you can wait for it to dry, and the finished product will look something like this. Now there's a few advantages to this design versus the other ones that we've seen up there on the internet. One is that you can just put the pod, on the table, and it stands easier. Another reason is that you could put it inside your pouch and you could close the loop a lot easier as well. So the ones that are, some people put them up here, it's a lot, tougher to close your loop. Also, when you're shaking to put the balls in the mag, sometimes the door can come off and everything can spill out. It's rare, but it happens. So, and also the other designs that we've seen didn't have this ring that supports the mag being on top and pushing down and from coming out. So the other designs, they just tell you to glue around the edges. This design a little bit different by telling you to put the ring around it and glue the ring. So this allows it from ever moving in or out, and you can see it in the clear pod how that works. So go ahead, Anthony, and load a mag. You can see this mag is empty, and you just have to push it forward, shake it a little bit, and this pod is full, so it's gonna allow, you're gonna need to have a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, give a couple shakes and your mag is full. And if you want to empty it out, you just go ahead and do the same thing. You can hit the actuator and all will come out. Alright. So now that you see how this is made, we'd like you to try it. So go ahead and make your own speed loader. Since MagFed, if you have 6 or 8 mags, it's going to take you a while to load them. So try this. It's definitely an asset to your gear set, and it's not going to cost you any more than $1 to make. Considering you already have a pod. So go ahead and make your pod and post it on our page. And if you have any questions or comments or any improvements to the design, please let us know. You can always subscribe on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Savoy6Paintball, or go on our Facebook, facebook.com/Savoy6Paintball. I'd like to thank Anthony for lending us his hands, and he only got 1 cut in the making of this video. The cameraman got 2 cuts, so I'm not sure how that happened. But no speedballers were hurt in the making of this video. We'd like to thank you for watching, and we're handing over the camera to Patrick for the rest of the Monday Night Paintball.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Now remember, Monday Night Paintball is your show. We make it from the content generated from our Facebook page. So if there's anything you'd like to see in next week's episode, just go to facebook.com/Rap4USA and let us know. Looking forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you out there.